We're going to be talking about Sitebuilder or your company website. We're going to be talking about layouts. We're also going to be talking about how you can make quick changes. We're going to talk about some of the features that have been added to our system. So some of this may be a review for some of you, but we're excited to show you all of some of the new layouts and new features that have come on board in the last couple of months as well. Just to give you a refresher, for those of you who have a Sitebuilder website, hopefully everybody in this room does. If you don't, do know that you can easily sign up for one. Just give us a quick email over to websupport@bhhstown.com, and we'll be happy to get you the form to go ahead and sign up. If Town Central does not look like this for you, with all of these buttons up here at the top, that means you do not have a Sitebuilder website. For those of you who, of course, have a Sitebuilder website, you should have all of these different buttons turned on. All of these buttons turn on once you get a Sitebuilder website because all of the tools kind of integrate with your website, which is one of the reasons you see them when you have Sitebuilder. I'm actually going to go and I'm going to show you Rawsons website. We use two websites for training here in the company. We have Rawsons website, and then of course we have a wonderful pretend agent called Mary Agent who we're going to be working with today. But I do want to show you that a lot of the things have changed since you may have looked at some of this. One is you'll notice that Rawson actually has a video going on in the back of his website. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and refresh that. He is using our new video template for his website. Most of our newer templates do support video in the background. You do not have to have a video. You can actually have a static image if you'd like. And then they're also retroactively going back and they're creating some video templates out of some of our older templates as well. So you'll see those as we go through. Also, you'll notice that we have some nice clean features now. You're going to see a lot more white space. We're bringing things up to some of the more industry and agency standards right now. You'll notice things like our featured homes have maybe some more information on them. Again, more white space. And then you'll see something called a custom callout as we go through. And I wanted you to see these before we got started. You'll notice that in some of our original templates, and some of you may still be on them, you were able to choose between different blocks that were available to you, but you may not have been able to change the titles, or you may not have been able to change what the button said to go there. We have done a lot of updating, and you can now have what we call, these are called custom callouts. So you can still have the same favorites that we've always had. We love to see home value report on here. We love to see things like property watch, but we're also seeing people use these for very specific things now. So we have agents who use this to go directly to a specific social media, or we have it to a specific neighborhood area. Or a neighborhood page or neighborhood report. So we now have these custom callouts, and I wanted you to see these before we got started. And then, of course, our bio areas. Not every single template will have a bio area, but I wanted you to see what one might look like before we go into our templates. So this is one of our newer templates, our newer generation templates, and that way you can kind of see what you're looking at here on this information. When we go through the websites and you choose a different layout, do know that your header and all of the information in your navigation bar, this is called a navigation bar up here, all stay with that new template design. Things that you may have to re-implement on your homepage would be things like some of the verbiage, or if you're choosing different callouts and your testimonials, you may have to go ahead and put those back in the spaces that you have. One of the things I want to mention is, as a best practice, we like to have a website open, your current one, and that way you can go ahead and just copy and paste some of this information into those blocks, and you'll see how that works. But it's just a best practice to have your current website open so you can just quickly copy and paste back into a section as we go through. I'm going to pop over to Town Central. I'm logged in as Mary Agent. It's our training account today. And I want to go ahead and show you the Sitebuilder layouts, and I want to show you some of the new features, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can switch your template and some of the features that are available on there as well. As we go over to Sitebuilder, I'm going to go down to Collections, and I'm going to go to Layouts. This layout section is where you can see all of the different templates and websites that are available to you. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Here we are. So I want you to notice that we have a bunch of different names and a bunch of different collections for these. Don't pay any attention to the names, and don't pay any attention to the actual theme that's in there. You're just looking at the elements that are available. So let's take this Cape Cod one here because it's our first one up on the top here. You'll notice that it has a logo at the very top. It has where your navigation bar is. You can kind of see it over here. You'll notice that it has a quote above it. There's your search bar. It has a really large photo in the background. By the way, that large photo in the background is called a hero image, or a hero video. You'll see that as we go through. And then, of course, we have call outs here as well. As I go ahead and scroll on down, you'll see lots of different names here. These are featured property slideshows. You probably won't use those for a website. They were made for a very specific purpose. But we'll go down here to some of our other sites. And again, you'll be able to see that logo at the top. There's that navigation bar. Here's that hero image. And then, of course, we have the search bar below it. That Gaskell template right here is what Rawsons' website is on that I just showed you. And then as we continue to scroll down, you'll see that they definitely change. We can often change colors if you see a color in here. So you're just looking at the elements and where they're located. You don't have to have the same text. We can go ahead and change the text. We can also delete the text. You might be asking to yourself, do I need to have these fonts? Some of these fonts are able to be changed, but they are going to be limited to a certain set of fonts. The reason we do that is to make sure that they're compliant across all devices and across all browsers. So not every single font works in every single situation. In fact, if your browser or your device doesn't have a font, it likes to substitute it with something that it makes up itself. So sometimes a website can look kind of odd if you're using a very custom font on your website. So all of the fonts that we have installed on our system are universal, but you can go ahead and change them, but from a very limited list. So you'll notice some of them include pictures right up on the top here. Ignore Farm and Ranch 1. We actually have a couple of our luxury agents on some of these Farm and Ranch ones. They actually look really, really beautiful with luxury properties behind them. Anytime you see something like enhanced or video, it means that it may have additional features, and I'm going to show you where those features are in just a second. I want you to see that we do have a template that's for buy side. This has a really, really large call out for how much is your home worth for some of our agents who might be really working the home valuation tool. The how much is your home worth bar that's on that template usually works really well. We have some luxury templates. We also have team templates. And here we start to get into some of our newer ones as well. Notice that some of these might look like they have slideshows. You don't necessarily have to have a static image in the back. If you actually look at this Florida and Florida Expanded, it actually is a slideshow. We have some new templates that look a little more Pinteresty for those of you who like to use a lot more photos and a lot less text. You'll notice that we have some block in a blocks, but here we go to get into some additional white space, some additional art elements here. These are our newest templates. They're named after some cities. One of the requests that we had was that we would move a profile photo up into the main hero section. Our new templates do accomplish this. So here's our Aspen template that actually puts your photo up in the header for the first time. Here is our template for called Chicago, which puts it in over top of your hero image. And of course, our Los Angeles, which does the same. And again, don't mind the names of it. They just have names and themes, but we can go ahead and change any of those background photos. And again, some additional features as I continue to scroll down. You'll notice that we have so many templates. And when you start to customize these with your own neighborhoods, with your own pictures, with your own themes and words and things like that, they can look very, very, very different from other people who are on the system. In fact, it's very rare for us to come across an agent website that looks like any other, especially if you've taken the time to customize it to your marketing and your themes. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll on back to the top here just so you can see what we're looking at as far as choosing a template. If I scroll over one of these templates, and this works for everything, it's actually going to show you everything that's available in here. So if you're looking for something very specific, you can actually scroll over what the template layout looks like, and it'll give you a list of features. So in this case, for this Cape Cod, this has a custom background slideshow. Notice that it doesn't say that it has video available. So this is a template that does not have a hero video. It does have editable text. It has calls to action. It has some text areas that can be edited. It has 5 custom communities. You don't have to use those community boxes for communities. They can be used for call outs. That's one of the reasons I wanted to show you Rawsons' website before we got started so you could see what those custom areas look like. And then of course it has 8 scrolling featured listings. Don't be afraid of featured listings if you don't have listings. The standard for listings, featured listings on our websites are set to show your own listings. If you do not have your own listings for whatever reason, it will actually default to your office listings. So your website never looks blank. It never looks like you don't have business going on. It just shows the featured listings from your office instead. So let's take a look at another website option. Here we go. There's that Gaskell. That's the one that I showed you that Rawsons website was on. And here it's going to say that it has editable hero text and a background image, or you can have a hero background video. So anytime that you might want to see a background video, you'll have to find one of these templates that has the hero background video on here. It has a couple of extra text areas. It has 4 featured listings. It has a section for a testimonial. It has 4 custom calls to action. Again, those custom calls to action or those custom communities, whenever you see those, they can be used in different ways. You can use them for communities. You can use them for calls to action. You can use them as links. You can use them however you'd like. They're just custom boxes that we can actually program. But I want to introduce a new section here. This is called hide and show sections. Most of our newer templates have what's called the hide and show feature. That it means that if you don't want something on your website for whatever reason, you're able to turn it off. So for example, on the Gaskell website here, it does allow for hide and show. Maybe you don't have a testimonial, or you don't want to use all of your custom calls to action. Maybe you only want to use 3, not 4. That hide show feature, and I'm actually going to show you how that works, does allow you to hide a section. And what it does is it just moves up all the elements underneath it, so it doesn't look like there's something missing. If I were to turn off one of the custom calls to action, it would just spread everything out in that area. But it does allow you to remove something. I love hide and show because it allows you to use some of the templates that have a lot of features, but turn them off. If you just want to use maybe the search section, you want to use a couple of text boxes and maybe featured listings, but you love the design, but you don't want to have all the other stuff on it, you can go ahead and turn it off. The other nice thing too is that if you want to switch to a new design fairly quickly, but you don't have time to maybe do some custom calls to action, or you want to go ahead and look something up for some text, or you want to rewrite your bio or something like that, you can always turn that section off until you're ready, and then go ahead and fill it in later, and then go ahead and show it so that it shows up on your website. I love the hide and show feature. Let's scroll over and see a couple of other ones as we go through. So again, this is going to be that background image. There's the calls to action with editable text. Notice that this one doesn't say custom. That means that that would be that list of calls to action that you can choose from. It doesn't mean that you can use those areas for custom buttons. You are going to be limited to a call to action list that we've provided. This one actually has 7 community tiles in it, 4 featured properties, and of course a testimonial. Notice this one doesn't have the hide and show feature on it though. I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down to a couple of our newer ones here, just because they have a couple of different features to them. That way you can go ahead and see what it looks like when we have more features available. So here's our Florida template. Notice this one has a really short list. This one says you can have custom tile images. So this is going to be that kind of slideshow in the background. That's a custom tile images. It's going to have editable hero text. And the only thing below that photo is going to be the 6 customs calls to action with editable text. It's not going to have any featured properties on it. It doesn't have a testimonial. It doesn't have an agent bio section on that front page. This is all that's available on that Florida piece. If I scroll down here to Georgia, there's that same thing. There's those custom tile images. It's going to have editable hero text, and it's going to have 5 custom calls to action on it. As we start to get into some of our other templates we have here, here's actually one of our new ones. It's going to say that it has the headshot in the header. It does have the option for a hero background video, or you can have a custom hero image. Again, if for those of templates that support that background video, if you don't have a video ready or you don't want to use a video, you can always use a static background image, either one. And again, it's going to have that editable text. It's going to have the hide show features. There's an advanced editor content area, which means that you can bring up that page editor, which will allow you to make more changes to the front, something a little more custom. It actually has 9 custom calls to action on it. So for those of you who might want to do a lot of neighborhood marketing, or if you have a lot to say and you want to point people off in different directions, this might be the one for you. It has 9 custom calls to action, and it has 9 scrolling featured properties on it. So it also has a lot of properties. Here's a nice big one for you. Take a look at this one. The headshot is above the fold. Above the fold means it's in that first section of the website. So anybody who comes to your website on any device will actually see your photo without having to scroll. That's what above the fold means. Has the option for a video. Again, has that advanced, some of those advanced content areas. But take a look at this. 4 custom calls to action, plus 16 custom communities, plus 9 scrolling featured listings. For somebody who loves to do community marketing, wants to do lots of calls to action, and loves featured properties, and wants to offer kind of a lot of visual things and a lot of clickable things on their website, this is a great option for them. And then again, anytime you scroll over, you can preview any of these by going ahead and clicking that Cabernet preview button right here. And it's just going to bring up what your current website kind of would look like in this new template. So again, it's only going to show you the basic stuff that's in the background. Remember, all of these photos can be adjusted. This text can be adjusted, but it's going to kind of give you a sort of layout. So in this one, it's going to be, okay, we can see that it has scrolling. We can see what our navigation bar would look like in this. We can see that it has some color changes that we can make, and it's going to allow us to put some custom calls to action here. It's going to have a custom text area. Here are those call outs that we have. So we can, in this case, it's preset up for Market Watch, Property Finder, and Contact. We'll be able to change those. And then, of course, this is going to be our community section here. And we can kind of see what that's going to look like if we go ahead and fill that out and that information. That preview button is available on every single website. So if you want to take a look at multiple ones before you have to commit, you can go ahead and do that. Again, this one's just going to show you, this one's very angular. It's got a great color into it. This one has a nice call to action that allows you to go off to either a saved search. Again, you can create whatever you want to with these. These happen to go off to saved property searches, but you could also use these if you wanted to send them off to your social media, or if you wanted to send them to a specific page, maybe for buyers or sellers. These are custom. And there's those call outs. Again, these are not going to be those custom call outs. Those are going to be the ones you can choose from the list, but they are going to allow you to change the text and the kind of calls to action underneath there. And of course, this one has featured properties. One of the things you won't see in the preview is the featured properties section. It's just one of the quirks of the system. If you wanted to choose a template for whatever reason, you can go ahead and select template. It's going to ask you if you want to overwrite your existing homepage. So you're still okay here. If you choose a layout from this area, it's just going to load it up into that site editor for you. It's going to allow you to start making changes. At this point, you do not have to commit to this website at all. If you start working through it, you realize this is not what you want, this is not where you want to go, you can get back to your current website, and I will show you how to do that. So overwriting your existing homepage is okay. It's not going to push it live. It's just going to load it up into your site editor so you can start making changes and you can take a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on this one. And it's going to go ahead and overwrite what I already had in my site editor and bring it in. Okay. So I want you to see that if you need to get back to this section, because it took us automatically here, we've moved from Site Builder, Collections, and Layouts. That's where we took a look at all those layouts, and we've moved into the Site Editor section instead. So if you were to just get to this point, you got a call, you had to leave, it's no big deal. You can always come back to it at Site Builder, Collections, and then Site Editor right here. If I click that, it'll go ahead and take me right back to the same page. Remember I said that it's going to save your navigation bar, it's going to save your information, but you are going to have to go ahead and replace some of this text information. I did keep my current website that I have open over here. This is the website that I currently have published. And this way I can go ahead and copy and paste some of the information that I might want to go ahead and keep from this website over here. All right. It's going to allow you to scroll down. It's going to allow you to go ahead and add some more information. It's going to be able to, you'll be able to see everything that's on this template. So the Site Builder website system works exactly the same way as a lot of other things in Town Central. This is your preview area over here on the right, and anything you need to do is over here on the left. And the nice thing is it's all going to be in the same order. So if I click homepage, remember the site editor edits the homepage. That's that main page of your website. If I click on homepage, you're going to notice a couple things pop up here. One is that you'll notice this green bar. It says changes saved in editor. This will start to save things in the editor as we go along. So as you make changes, this will go from yellow to green, yellow to green, yellow to green. This is really similar to how Marketing Resource works as well. When you edit something in Marketing Resource, when you want to send out an e-card and it goes from yellow to green, that means it's saved in the editor. You'll also notice that we have these 3 buttons right here. This is going to allow us to preview. So this is going to allow us to preview what this website would look like on a desktop, what it would look like on a tablet, and of course, what it would look like on mobile. We do know that more and more people look at our websites on mobile. So we want to make sure that that mobile template looks great as well when you're choosing photos. And then you're going to see that this Publish Home button comes up here. When you're ready to launch this new website, you can hit this Publish Home button, and then it will overwrite the live site you have. Until then, all you're doing is working in the site editor. All you're doing is working in this section right here, but nothing has changed on your actual live website. And you'll notice that this box has popped up called Past Versions. You'll be able to go in here and see your past versions. We saved 6. I want you to know, though, that every time you hit this Publish Home button, it's going to save a new version of this. Okay, I want to say that again. Every time you hit this Publish Home button, it saves a new version. So if you make a tiny little text change and hit Publish Home, and then another tiny text change and Publish Home, a tiny text change and Publish Home, it is going to be another version of this. You just want to be careful that if this is a template that you don't like and you want to get back to the one that you currently have, that you don't overwrite it more than those 6 times. And that way you can go ahead and get back to it. If for whatever reason you're working in this template, you realize it's not what you want, you just want to go back to what you had before. You'll see that it says live version. That live version is whatever is currently for your site. And if you go ahead and click live version, it'll bring the version of your website back into this site editor area. Nothing will have changed. But you can go back and, of course, get additional versions here. But again, we saved 6. So just be careful how many times you hit the Publish Home button. The website will not let you publish unless you have made changes to some of the dummy text. You'll see a bunch of dummy text in here that says lorem ipsum. It's a made-up language that is meant to look like English. And that way you can see what it would look like with sentence text in those areas. You will get a warning if you hit Publish Home and haven't changed those sections yet that says, hey, you still have some dummy text in here. Please go ahead and edit it so that you can publish it. The site is designed to make sure that you look good all the time. So over here on the left, remember I clicked that homepage button and it's going to bring up all of my different sections where I can edit things. So again, this is all in order here. So it's going to start out with things like the color. I can go ahead and edit this color. So I can choose a color. I'm going to give you a cheat that I love to show everybody. See this little dropper right here? I know it might be hard to see. It's all the way on this little thing that I clicked, this little dropper. If you're not sure what the Cabernet color is and you want to go ahead and use Cabernet, if you click the dropper and take it over top of this button here, it's just trying to find a color that's available. And if I click on that, it brought in the Cabernet color right here. So if you use that dropper, you can hover over anything. We sometimes have agents who like to match their profile photo too. Maybe you're, wearing a particular color, particular suit jacket or top. If you click that and you hover over your profile photo, you'll also be able to match as well. It's one of my favorite kind of tips and tricks for in here, but for right now, we'll go ahead and leave this on the Cabernet. Notice that it went ahead and made that change immediately. So I chose Cabernet, changed it from black, and now all of my buttons and all of my callouts, instead of being black, are now Cabernet. Same thing we have with this hero button. So we're going right in order. So we have 2 options here. We did not have a video option for this, but we do have the option to go ahead and change our hero. I want you to notice this is one of the newer features that we have here. We have both a hero image. This means that this is what would be available on desktop and tablet. And then, of course, we have our mobile hero image. So sometimes we need an image that's different on a mobile phone. Just because of our screen size. So somebody may have a really great photograph of a house for their hero image, but it doesn't really work on the mobile because maybe it focuses on the garage or it focuses on something else in that particular photo, and you may need to swap it out. I'm going to go ahead and click on hero image here. And that way you can see what our different libraries look like and how easy it is to change a photo. This is the same way you change a photo in the entire system. You do have the option to load your own images over here on the left-hand tab. You just go ahead and hit add image. You'll be able to choose that file, give it a description. By the way, this description becomes the alt text, which is really important for ADA compliance. Make sure that you're filling out your alt text whenever you're uploading images to the system. So if you are uploading one of maybe the front shot of one of your listings and it's 123 Main Street, you can say something like 123 Main Street, Virginia Beach, exterior photo, or you can just go ahead and describe it. You can say 2-story brick home with front lawn. On it, but whatever it is, make sure that this description meets your ADA compliance and also your alt text compliance here. It's going to ask you when you upload a photo, if you have the rights to use this photo, you are going to have to agree. Please do not use photos that are taken from the internet. They get us all in trouble and we get very large bills asking us to pay for those photos. We have seen them as high as $10,000. So make sure you have the rights to use whatever photo that you're uploading, and then you can go ahead and hit save image. If you don't want to use one of your own images, that's okay. We have a lot of images built into the system already. If you click this company images tab, you'll actually see that this is some of our local images, things that we've uploaded, things that we might be using in a campaign, a bunch of different waterfront settings, some of our Cabernet collection, local area photos. We add to this library all the time. And you can go ahead and select from something here if you want to. We also have an entire image of stock libraries. There's thousands of images in here, and this comes from our vendor. So you'll notice they are a global vendor, so they do have different cities that are available in here, but sometimes we find some things in the different cities that we love, maybe an interior that also looks like our area or even exterior. Sometimes a river scene or a lake scene looks universal no matter where you are. There is a Mid-Atlantic section in here that looks like our area and our types of housing. You can also use some of their interiors and exteriors. They're not all based on cities. There's people photos in here, lots and lots of different options. There's different holidays for those of you who like to change your photos pretty often. Whatever you'd like to do here. I'm actually going to go ahead and choose one of these. I'm going to grab an interior. If you want to choose a photo, all you have to do is click on it. You'll see a Cabernet bar forms around it. And this button here that says select image comes up and boom. All we have to do is do that, select image, and it loads it in this preview. Changing text is really easy. If you click in any of these text boxes, it's going to show you where you can change text. And we'll just make something easy. Find your new home. Here. You can do a couple things here. I would recommend that you do not change the formatting. This formatting is specifically designed to make sure that it works on desktop, mobile, and tablet exactly the way that it's done here. These are all agency designed sites. But if you want to highlight something and use this just like you would use any kind of word editor, you can always bold it if you want to. There's that option to change your font. If you'd like, notice that again, this is a limited list here, but these are all internet compliant fonts. They will show up on any device, no matter what the system you're using or what device you're using. They all look universal, so it'll always make sure that your site looks nice. I'll just change that to Helvetica just so you can see what it looks like. And then, of course, you do have the option as you go through to use some of these other features. We certainly wouldn't use necessarily a bulleted list up here, but it's available for some of the other sections. You would choose your mobile hero image the same. If this didn't look right for your mobile image, you can actually, again, you can choose that different mobile image. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one alone for right now. I'm just going to move down to the next section. So it's telling me that we have an about section. It's going to be in this box. And again, it's just going right in order. And under our page editor here, if I click that button, it's going to bring up a fairly large page editor. So instead of a text box, this is when it's actually bringing up a page editor. This is where we can do a lot of things. This should look like Microsoft Word. It should look like, you know, some of your Google tools. It should look like your email, whatever you happen to be using. It's a pretty standard Word kind of template here. You can go ahead and type in maybe a mini bio here. You could maybe add a logo for a designation if you wanted to using the image library. You could do whatever you wanted to do on here. I'm going to show you what it would look like just to copy and paste something from your other website, however. Maybe I want to use this section for my bio. My old website has a bio, so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. And I just have this dummy text here that says, talk about how great of an agent you are in the area. Put a whole bunch of it in here. I'm just copying it from my live website. Copy, copy. Just going to go back to my site editor. Going to paste that in here and hit save. And there's that little bio that I had written on my current website. I've just copied it, pasted it, popped it in here. And again, anytime you see those page editors, you get those advanced features. Anytime you see a text box, you have that kind of limited area because it's meant to be formatted. I'm just going to keep going down here to the bottom. It's asking me for my large call out. So in this case, it has two images. So I have an image here and an image here I can change. And then there's those text boxes again. So contemporary home starting at whatever. And then this box here is asking me for a link. So if I wanted to make sure that this was a link, maybe this was, maybe I'm going to say this is waterfront homes. And instead of a price range, maybe I put Virginia Beach, something like that. I would go ahead and put my link to my saved search that I had made for Waterfront Homes Virginia Beach. So you may have to do some work ahead of time in here. But again, if you haven't created a saved search for something or you aren't sure what you want to put for this link, it's okay. Right now we're just in the editor. You can always come back to this later. You can create an interior page. You can go get a link for something. Whatever it happens to be, it's just in this editor. We haven't published anything yet. You can always come back to it. Okay. Same thing for this this large call out down here. It's just asking you to make those same changes, and it's just going to follow that same order. What do you want for this photo? What do you want for this photo? What do you want for this text box? It's showing you exactly where it is, and then what link, where do you want it to go? You need to go ahead and put a link in here. And then I'm going to come down to this last section called calls to action. And remember, this one didn't have those custom calls to action. This one had it from a list, but I wanted to show you a neat feature in here. So if I wanted to go ahead and change these, I'm going to go ahead and pick the home valuation. This is just allowing us to choose from a list. It knows where to send it. So it knows if I choose home valuation to send it to my home valuation site. I'm going to keep the property finder, which is the property watch tool. That property watch tool is what allows people to get notifications and emails. And then I'm going to leave it in contact. Remember I said that there was going to be some dummy text in here. If I tried to hit publish home right now, notice it's going to say to publish this website, you'll need to replace all the text that begins with lorem ipsum. It's not going to let this publish until it's sure that you look good. If you're not sure what to say under here, that's okay. The nice thing about this system is that we can actually just go ahead and take some of this out. We don't have to fill in a text box if we don't want to. It's just going to make us get rid of that dummy text. If we do want to go ahead and fill in that section, so for home value, we can say get your free instant report. Just enter your address. We can go ahead and put that in there. So for these custom calls to action, again, if you're not sure what to say, you can go ahead and take it out. You can always come back to it and fill it back in later. But I do encourage you just to kind of maybe talk about what the tools are for Property Finder. It's always good about get instant notifications of new listings. And then maybe for your contact information, maybe put your phone number right out here in here, just say call or email me anytime for information. So I had filled in all the text that I needed. We're going to pretend I put in those links. I've changed my background photo. I've updated here. My navigation didn't change. I don't have to worry about any of my other pages I've built for my website. All of those are still fine. I'm just changing my homepage with this. And as soon as I know that I'm ready, this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish home. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to publish? This will overwrite your homepage. Yes, I do want to publish. It's just going to reload this page in the editor, but I wanted to show you how fast it was that it actually changed my website. And it changed the entire dynamic of my website in just a few seconds. It went from something that had a lot more white to it to this more colorful, more angular website that has some different features, different photos, and of course, here's those custom calls to action that we had. And again, all of this information stayed the same. So all of my contact information, my links that I had down here, my name, my office information, my navigation bar, all of my interior pages are perfectly fine. All I did was redesign my website up here at the top. Did anybody have any questions about those new layouts or kind of the basic overview of our site editor, which is what we're covering today? I'm happy to take any questions anybody has. No questions. If you don't have any questions today, but if you think about it later, it's okay. You can always email us at websupport@bhhstown.com. That's the team that covers all of the digital products that we have. So if it's on a screen and it has to do with marketing, then the web support team covers it. We have a great team back there who works with lots of different websites and lots of different digital marketing. Email us at websupport@bhhstown.com if you have any questions. If you run into trouble, if you're not sure how to do something, if you just kind of like a best practice about which template you might want to use, or if you just get stuck, we're here for you. Hopefully you guys go through and make some great changes to your website, give it a little facelift, give it a little refresh. This is a great time of year to do it as we start getting ready for 2023. We have a lot of new features, a lot of new options, and you can really make it personalized just for you, to really work for your business and your clients and how you like to do your marketing. So if there's no questions, I'll go ahead and end this session today.